Hello, dear listeners, and welcome back to Book Summary 5, the 5-Minute Summary channel. I'm Sammy, your host, and today we're diving into In the Garden of Beasts, Love, Terror, and an American Family in Hitler's Berlin by Erik Larson. This historical nonfiction book explores the experiences of William Dodd, the American ambassador to Germany, and his family during the rise of Adolf Hitler and the Nazi regime in the early 1930s. Larson expertly weaves a narrative that captures the tense, ominous atmosphere of Berlin as the world watched Germany descend into dictatorship. Let's explore the key themes and events so you'll feel like you've read it cover to cover. Set in 1933, In the Garden of Beasts follows William E. Dodd, a mild-mannered history professor from Chicago, who is unexpectedly appointed as the U.S. ambassador to Germany. Dodd, an academic with no diplomatic experience, reluctantly accepts the post, taking his family, his wife, son, and his daughter Martha to Berlin, a city teetering on the edge of radical transformation under the growing power of the Nazi Party. The book provides a unique perspective on this critical moment in history, showing it through the eyes of a family that initially arrives somewhat naively, unaware of the horrors that will soon unfold. Larson paints Dodd as an idealistic yet pragmatic man who initially hopes to engage with Nazi officials diplomatically. He believes that by representing American values of democracy and freedom, he can appeal to reason and promote peace between the United States and Germany. However, as he witnesses the escalating violence, suppression of dissent, and anti-Semitic policies, Dodd becomes increasingly disillusioned with the Nazi regime. He faces immense challenges in dealing with both the Nazi government and his own State Department back in Washington, which often undermines his efforts and shows little urgency in addressing the growing threat. One of the central characters in the book is Dodd's daughter, Martha Dodd, whose experiences provide a fascinating subplot. Initially charmed by the glamour and excitement of Berlin's social scene, Martha is enamored with several Nazi officials, including Rudolf Diels, the head of the Gestapo. She even briefly becomes romantically involved with them, believing that the Nazis represent a bold new direction for Germany. However, as the brutality of the regime becomes more apparent, Martha's view shifts dramatically, and she becomes increasingly disillusioned. Her transformation reflects the slow realization among many in the international community that Hitler's rise to power was far more sinister than initially perceived. A key theme in the Garden of Beasts is the slow but steady consolidation of power by the Nazi regime. Larson masterfully details the incremental steps by which Hitler dismantles German democracy, from the burning of the Reichstag to the passage of the Enabling Act, which gave Hitler dictatorial powers. These events unfold with a sense of growing dread, as Dodd and his family watch the erosion of civil liberties and the rise of fear and repression in everyday life. The terror of the time becomes palpable as the Gestapo tightens its grip on the population, and violence against Jews and political opponents becomes increasingly routine. As Dodd becomes more vocal in his criticism of the Nazis, he faces resistance not only from the German government, but also from his own superiors in Washington. The U.S. State Department, preoccupied with diplomatic formalities and reluctant to antagonize Germany, often dismisses Dodd's warnings about the dangers of Hitler's regime. Larson highlights the frustrating inaction of world leaders who failed to fully grasp the scale of the threat posed by the Nazis until it was too late. Another critical aspect of the book is the portrayal of the international community's complacency in the face of rising fascism. Many foreign diplomats in Berlin, including those from Britain and the United States, are more concerned with maintaining cordial relations than confronting the growing menace of the Nazi Party. Dodd finds himself increasingly isolated as he tries to raise the alarm about Hitler's intentions. Larson's depiction of this complacency underscores how the world missed numerous opportunities to confront the Nazi regime before it unleashed full-scale war. Larson's skill as a storyteller shines through in his ability to bring historical events to life with vivid detail. He weaves together personal stories, political intrigue, and historical context to create a gripping narrative. The Dodd family's experiences serve as a microcosm of the broader failure to recognize and respond to the Nazi threat until it was too late. By focusing on their personal struggles, Larson humanizes the story of Hitler's rise and shows the emotional and moral toll of living in a city overtaken by fear and repression. As the book progresses, the atmosphere in Berlin grows increasingly dark. The title, In the Garden of Beasts, refers to Berlin's Tiergarten, a central park that becomes a metaphor for the city itself, a place where beauty and civility mask the lurking danger and violence. By the time the Dodds leave Germany in 1937, the full scale of Hitler's ambitions is becoming terrifyingly clear. but for many, the realization has come too late. In summary, In the Garden of Beasts by Erik Larson offers a chilling account of the rise of Nazi Germany through the lens of the American ambassador William Dodd and his family. It's a story of political naivete, missed opportunities, and the gradual but relentless rise of authoritarianism. By focusing on the personal experiences of the Dodd family, Larson brings history to life in a deeply human and emotionally resonant way. It's a powerful reminder of the dangers of complacency and the importance of standing up to tyranny before it's too late. Thank you for tuning in to Book Summary 5. If you enjoyed this summary, please subscribe, like, and share it with your friends. Until next time, happy reading.